The neon lights of Las Vegas never truly slept. Even at dawn, when the sky softened from black to pale gold, the city hummed like a living thing that refused to slow down. Adrian Blackwood discovered this truth with a dull ache behind his eyes and a strange, unfamiliar weight on his left hand. He stared at the ceiling of the luxury hotel suite, confused by the crystal chandelier glittering above him. This was not his penthouse in New York. This was not any place he recognized. The bed was too wide, the sheets too smooth, and the silence too loud for a city known for noise. Adrian sat up slowly, memories of the previous night arriving in fragments. A business deal finalized. A private jet to Vegas. A promise to himself that he would finally relax, just for one night. Then came the diner. His gaze dropped to his hand, and his breath caught. A simple band of silver circled his finger. Married? No, he muttered, voice rough. He swung his legs over the side of the bed and stood, heart pounding. Adrian Blackwood, billionaire investor, known for control and discipline, did not make reckless mistakes. Yet here he was, waking up married in Las Vegas. He searched the suite, expecting some unknown woman, someone forgettable from a blur of flashing lights and poor decisions. But the room was empty until he heard movement near the balcony. She stood there, wrapped in a borrowed robe, staring out at the strip as if it were a puzzle she couldn't solve. Her hair fell loosely down her back, darker than the night sky had been hours ago. She turned slightly and Adrian froze. He knew her. Waitress, he said before he could stop himself. She turned fully then, eyes widening in disbelief. You. Her name came back to him like a whisper. Lily Carter. They had met just hours earlier at a quiet diner off the main strip, the kind of place tourists rarely noticed. Adrian had gone there to escape the noise, craving something ordinary. Lily had served him coffee, polite but distant. He remembered trying to talk to her, remembered the easy confidence he carried everywhere else failing him there. And he remembered her words, calm and firm. I'm not interested. Now she stood in his hotel suite, wearing a wedding ring identical to his. What did you do? Lily asked, her voice steady but tight. I should be asking you that, Adrian replied, though there was no accusation in his tone, only confusion. They stared at each other, the silence stretching between them. I didn't plan this, Lily said finally. I don't even remember agreeing to it. I remember leaving work. I remember you showing up again, looking less confident than before. She paused. Then everything goes fuzzy. Adrian ran a hand through his hair. Same here. They moved cautiously, like strangers forced into the same small space by fate. Lily picked up a folded paper from the table and handed it to him. The marriage certificate. Legal. Signed. Official. This can't be real, Lily whispered. I don't marry strangers. Neither do I, Adrian said quietly. But the paper didn't disappear just because they wished it to. The ring stayed on his finger. And so did the truth. They were married. Lily crossed her arms, a defensive gesture. Look, I don't care how rich you are. This isn't funny, and it's not a story I want attached to my life. Adrian met her gaze. I don't want this to be a joke either. If you want it annulled, I'll make it happen today. Something in his voice made her pause. Not arrogance. Not entitlement. Just sincerity. Why did you come back to the diner last night? She asked. He hesitated. Honesty wasn't his habit, but something about her made lies feel useless. Because you said no. She blinked. That's not usually a reason men return. I know, he admitted. That's why it bothered me. For the first time, Lily smiled just a little. You didn't act like someone used to hearing it. I'm not, he said. They sat across from each other at the small dining table, the Vegas skyline glowing behind them. Coffee arrived, untouched at first. So what now? Lily asked. Adrian considered the question carefully. Now we do this properly. We talk. We figure out how this happened. And we decide what's best for both of us. She studied him, as if looking for a crack in his calm. You're serious? Yes. Lily exhaled slowly. Okay. Talking I can do. They talked for hours. About childhoods that couldn't have been more different. Adrian grew up surrounded by wealth but little warmth, trained to succeed before he learned how to trust. Lily grew up learning resilience, balancing multiple jobs, caring for a mother who depended on her. Somewhere between shared laughter and quiet confessions, the tension softened. I judged you last night, Lily admitted. I thought you were just another rich guy playing at normal life. And I assumed you'd be impressed by money, Adrian said. You weren't. No, she said simply. By noon, they stood together in the hallway outside the suite. I'll call a lawyer, Adrian said. We can end this quietly. Lily nodded but hesitated. Before we do, can I ask you something? Anything. Last night, when I said no, why didn't you get angry? He answered without thinking. Because you're allowed to say it. Something changed in her eyes then. Okay, she said. Then maybe we don't rush. He frowned slightly. You want to stay married? I want to understand how this happened, she clarified. And maybe understand you. The days that followed were unexpected. They stayed in Vegas, not as strangers trapped by a mistake, but as two people walking carefully toward something new. They shared meals. They talked at night. They learned each other's rhythms. Adrian found himself enjoying the simplicity Lily brought into his world. She challenged him, teased him, reminded him that value wasn't measured in numbers. Lily saw a man beneath the wealth, someone thoughtful, unsure, and far lonelier than he appeared. One evening, as the city lights shimmered below, Lily spoke softly. You know, if this had happened any other way, I'd have run. And now? Adrian asked. She smiled. Now I'm standing here. Weeks later, back in New York, the world buzzed with rumors Adrian refused to confirm. Lily moved into her own apartment, keeping her independence. The marriage remained quiet, unannounced. They dated like any other couple. Slowly, carefully, real. One morning, Lily found Adrian in the kitchen, staring at the ring on his finger. Still surprised? She asked. Every day, he said. But not unhappy. She walked over, resting her hand over his. Neither am I. What started as confusion turned into choice. What began as a mistake became a promise neither of them had planned, but both chose to keep. In a city built on chance, two lives collided by accident. And for once, fate got it right.